PC WizKid here with the Diamond R7 250 Boost. This one here comes overclocked out of the factory with 1 gig of GDDR5 memory. It's an entry-level card, just keep that in mind, but this one here is a Boost edition compared to others in the same series that Diamond has to offer. Has a 100 megahertz on the core clock and 1150 megahertz on the memory clock speed. As you can see there, DVI, HDMI, VGA out. There are the lengths. The size is pretty nice and small. There's no AMD Eyefinity support for these models, however. You have to get a higher end card for that. However, it does have support for the latest Directx and Opengl, latest mantle that just came out. This will do it as well. Nice fan, as you can see there in the center, keeps things cool and quiet, and indeed it was a nice quiet fan. We'll look at the specs and the benchmarks in just a moment. And of course, the card itself at the top, you can see that there's no crossfire attachments or power, so it's pretty much 400 watt power supply and you're good to go in there. There's your VGA for an older monitor, HDMI and DVI for any newer monitors that you might have, of course. And it's a single slot, but it does occupy a dual slot width because of that fan. So keep that in mind. You know, that heatsink and fan combo there is a little bit high, so it does occupy 2 slots in width. Okay. Now, other than that, the card itself is a great entry-level card. 128-bit bus width, I should say. So that indicates their entry level. The memory is of high quality, fast speed, but the bandwidth will be lower. And hence, of course, the amount that you can overclock is also going to be lower. But then again, this is not a card that you would purchase to overclock. As you can see on idle, 22 degrees Celsius, very respectable. On high loads, of course, the thing will go higher to a maximum of about 50 degrees Celsius, which is very respectable, very well done there on the cooling part for Diamond. And here is the system, the AMD 6700 CPU or APU that I'm running this on an Asus board with the following memory clock speeds, just so you know what type of system I'm testing this card on. Again, entry-level type of machine. I have the CPU overclocked so that there's no bottlenecking going on here. And you can see also that the GPU score is very good for an entry-level card of 9919 points. There are the frame rates if you're interested in the 3D Mark Vantage scores. And comparing that to other graphics cards, you can see here how well the Diamond R7 250 with Boost performs. Now, when we look at 3D Mark, there are several tests that we can do, starting with CloudGate. You can see here the score for that. And of course, it does have a little chart here with the temperature readings, again, hovering around the high 50s when it's at full load. But then again, you're not running it on full load constantly. Here, again, if we compare my score with other machines online, you can see how well this does. Again, it's an entry-level machine. The Ice Storm score, again, here is the overall score of the machine and the graphics score. And of course, Firestrike for high-end gaming PCs. Here is the score, just in case if you were wondering about that. Now, again, this is not a card that I would run anything necessarily on ultra high, okay? This is medium, high settings, good enough, but not necessarily on ultra. Now, Cinebench, though, surprisingly gave great results here. As you can see, 64 frames per second on the Cinebench rendering on Opengl. Great card for Opengl, these AMDs, compared to NVIDIA. I gotta tell you, Tomb Raider, excellent results here on normal display settings. So that's the normal quality preset that the game has. You can see there the minimum, max, and average. And then on high display settings, here you can see again how well it does on minimum, max, and average frames per second. Okay, going on. Battlefield 3. Look at the medium, high, and ultra quality display settings. These are the presets that you can choose within the game. Again, very nicely done. Great frames per second on BioShock as well, as you can see on medium and ultra high settings, just to show you that on some games you can run things on high or really high. On other games like Crysis 3, forget about it. You don't really want to run it on ultra because it's just too slow. Alien vs. Predator benchmarks, there you have an average frames per second idea as well. Great card again, entry level, good temperatures, don't really go above the 55 degrees, you know, if you run it at 100%, but then again, you're not. On average, it's going to run maybe in the 30-40 degrees Celsius mode there, and I definitely recommend it. If you're looking for anything entry level, Diamond Multimedia has it. I'll add the latest pricing below. Comment, let me know what you think, and again, thank you for watching.